Our next summit speaker is a serial virtual entrepreneur. He is the CEO and founder of TechSupport.ph, a BPO company focused on helping small businesses with their IT requirements. In 2009, he co-founded ImpactStick.com, a logistic company, together with his wife. As of today, he is still a confessed nerd, but he was able to serve more than 1,000 customers, supporting 500 sites and thousands of computers worldwide. We are proud to have in our show and in the summit, KERNAN MOTOOMULL. Hello, KERNAN. Good afternoon.
Hey, thanks, Ruben. Really glad to be on your show. Thank you so much. Salamat kayo.
KERNAN, so what's the situation of your business right now with COVID-19 outbreak?
Well, there's a small story before answering that.
Mm.
Before the COVID really erupted situation, our clientele is a little diverse already. It was our strategy to do not put all of our eggs in one basket. No, so we have hundreds of customers that we are serving. We decided to set it up that way rather than having a few customers and then getting a lot of money from those few customers. So now answering your question, what's the status right now? It would be I would be lying if we're not affected. No. Partially, yes, we are affected. I have about 100 employees right now. Some were partially lowering down their how do I call it, their attendance, and then 20% is working as usual, and then about 30 to 40% are working from home. So we're affected, but we're doing rotational attendance, work from home, so that everybody will at least get their share of their salary at the end of the month. So yes, we're affected, really, because I have one customer out of hundreds that are in the travel agencies.
Ah, yeah.
So
the one affected.
The travel agencies shut down, and they gave me like notices that they will be shutting down our services as well. But good thing, of course, I have like customers that are in the retail, like 7-Eleven. They're still operational, but they're closing slowly because of the lockdown. But we're still very happy that we're serving them in a way, still helping our nation, because without them, the basic food that people need to buy will not be available, right? So that's how I see it.
Okay. With the COVID-19 outbreak happening, do you see any change of processes in your business or in other businesses?
Good question. And I think this is really very, very important question. I have one entrepreneur, actually, he's a mentor. And I'm also humbled that he's actually getting feedback from me right now. He wants to open a logistics company as well, like me. One thing he's doing like a distribution of a lot of like appliances nationwide. And obviously he's stopped operations as well. And then he wanted to shift to logistics like me. One word he mentioned to me that this is a one big reset button for all of the business in the world. what does this mean? Mean that it's a one big reset button? Really, it's time for us to assess what we should do after the lockdown, after everything is said and done, and then everybody would be back to normal, I hope. But the thing here is that big companies that are in the leisure will really be affected, because
Still,
yes, it will not be like be bouncing back again. It will bounce back maybe um,
6 months
6 months.
or a
Agree,
year.
6 months to a year. And then
Because
those
they will still
leisure,
hitting up the marketing machine again.
yes, many will still not like spa,
Yeah.
right? The spas, like massage. I have home massages with my wife every Friday. We will not do that for the meantime, right?
Yeah, the scares.
And these are thousands of displaced people, and then that's what I see. Going back to your question, it's a one big reset button. People will need to go remote, and then people will go remote, and then processes will need to be reassessed on how you would be managing people remotely, and then everything will be like telecommuting, in my opinion, for the meantime, for the next 6 months to a year, in my opinion.
Now, for startup and local businesses that are currently affected right now, what do you think are your suggested plan of action to the owners of these businesses?
Um, like earlier, when we had this little chit chat, Ruben, I mentioned to you, the most important part when you reassess your business, there's two things that you need to really consider as part of your business.
Mhm.
What the service that you need to be giving to your customer should be basic requirement or basic necessity to all of the businesses.
Mhm.
The second, it's basic but it's hard to do
Mhm.
for you to be really better or on the top.
So how do you want to explain that? Basic but hard to do.
Okay, that's
It's like an
yeah,
oxymoron.
yeah.
Basic, but it's hard to do. Okay. So
Okay,
what's it? What's it
here
all
here
about?
it is. Here
Okay.
it is. I want to share what I do.
Mhm.
At the start, this is really my assessment when we started both businesses, the techsupport.ph and impactstick.com. Tech support, we are an IT outsourcing company. Companies, rather than hire, they outsource to me. Now, yes, you can get IT people outside, but our real competitor in the low end market is our freelancers.
Mhm.
Companies, I'm not saying that freelancers are bad or it's not something that that companies should hire, but there's a certain level in a company that they want a certain company to deal with that has already established processes, right?
Mhm.
So if you hire like a company like tech support, we have these processes in place. If a technical guy gets sick, there's a person that can be a reliever immediately. That kind of setup is already hard to do,
Mhm.
but IT outsourcing is basic, right? But any freelancer can do that at the least.
Mhm.
Okay, so that's answering your question on
Yes.
techsupport.ph.
Mhm.
On Impact Stick, like for example, we do logistics. We forward cargoes. We do door to door delivery. We're like we're like FedEx or To Go.
Mhm.
Why did we selected that? It's also basic. Why? Even there's COVID right now, our logistics company is still a little still striving, you know,
Mhm.
because we need to transfer pharmaceutical products.
Yeah, I think
We
you're one
need
of
to
the industries that's not shut down by the
actually,
quarantine.
there's three industries:
Oh, which one?
retail,
Okay.
logistics, and manufacturing.
Which is all your clients.
Yes, and then yes, all of them are still our clients, and then we got this special uh, how do I call it, like letter from
Mhm.
DTI that we're being allowed to operate in
Mhm.
these conditions.
Ah, okay.
So yes, and then at the moment, going back to your question, the forwarding business is basic
Mhm.
but hard to do.
True.
Why? If you compare it to a trucking, you buy a truck, you can already have like a trucking business. That's an
Mhm.
easy thing to do,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
But a forwarding business or a logistics company, it's hard. Why? When you pick up a cargo from let's say Manila, and then you need to deliver it in Cebu, you will need a truck to pick it up in Manila,
Mhm.
bring it to the pier,
Mhm.
put it in a container, and then the ship will go to Cebu and then undock and put it to another truck and deliver to Cebu. So there's a
Mhm.
lot of logistical requirements for that to happen, right?
Correct.
But it's a basic requirement, but hard to do. So in my opinion, when you want to operate after the lockdown, you need to
Mhm.
assess if you want to really be very, very competitive
Mhm.
and stand out from competition,
Mhm.
find the basic requirement, but hard to do.
That's a difficult mix. Yeah.
That's my take on it,
Yeah.
Ruben.
It's an interesting mix. And I think you're the first first one who really emphasized on the value of being basic provider, but providing a necessity that's difficult to do. Very nice one.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, now we have so many entrepreneur friends who are currently stuck right now because their restaurants are closed, their massage parlors are closed. Any service that requires close proximity or contact is closed. Now, with them staying at home, thinking for the next direction, what do you think are the other things that they should consider or doing right now?
Well, to those entrepreneurs that cannot really shift immediately after the lockdown, let's say they're into a parlor or into spas, they need to really have a process in place that will make their business